McRae writes about sports for the Ottawa Sun and talks about sports for 54 Rock Radio. McRae got the ball rolling yesterday in writing about Bruce Firestone's resignation, and he's with us now to talk more about it. Earl, I can only conclude that Bruce Firestone could have ridden Pietzke in the Queen's Plate trial. This is the Craig Perrett story all over again. That Bruce Firestone said the wrong thing is obvious. Whether or not he or anybody else did the wrong thing is debatable, right?
Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. An incredible lapse in judgment. If he said what the four reporters say he said, and they are still insisting that he said that, it was probably the stupidest remark that a guy in his position could ever make. Why he thought he could say that and get away with it and think there'd be no repercussions is beyond me. Just a really boneheaded remark for him to make.
Well, how presumptuous for a team like the Senators to think they could do things to help them lose. I mean, if they tried to lose, they might screw it up and win.
They didn't need any help in losing. You're absolutely right. But, you know, Bruce Firestone, again today in the Globe and Mail and the Ottawa Citizen, he makes two other remarks which are really kind of stupid as well. He says, in the context of this whole thing, that in that final game against Boston, if the Bruins were going to ice a team of second and third stringers because the game didn't mean anything to Boston, they had already a playoff position, that the Senators would throw in their bums as well from the minor leagues. He says this was talked about, and he implies that he sees nothing wrong with this, but implicit in that remark by Bruce Firestone in today's Globe and Mail, implicit is that it's okay to lose. We wanted to lose that game. We sure couldn't win.
Well, I'm not so sure what he said to the Globe and Mail. To be fair to Bruce Firestone, I'm not sure he said exactly the same thing to us here at TSN Inside Sports. So let me take you to another chapter in this story. Bruce Firestone resigns one day, and this story breaks the next. Put the two together if they go together any other way.
Well, this is the whole thing. This is why all of this is happening, of course. The Ottawa Senators, the Senators were Bruce Firestone's vision, his dream, his reality. The Senators are here because of Bruce Firestone, who has always prided himself on his drive and perseverance and stick-to-itness. He chose the fight song for the Senators, Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down. Just a few weeks ago, Bruce Firestone said he was looking forward to the new season with #1 pick Alexander Daig, the Russian Yashin, excitement in the air. And then all of a sudden, unexpectedly, the man who is Mr. Ottawa Senators packs it in. He resigns, walks away. He has a press conference. He's asked, why did you quit? His answers are not acceptable. He's kind of dancing here, dancing there, dancing all around, a verbal Fred Astaire. I even asked him, are you sick? Are you terminally ill? Why are you doing this? He said, I just need a change, Around that very same time, out comes this story that one of the reasons, there were several theories advanced as to why he's resigning, one being that he was bought out by Rod Brydon, who said, you have to get out of here because we got wind of a story coming out in a book this fall by Roy McGregor of the Citizen that you, in this hotel room, told 4 reporters that you entered into an agreement with these 4 players to, in effect, not try to do anything in this final game to assure a loss. And Brydon said, we can't have this, Bruce. This is ridiculous. Our image is not very good as it is. Lending institutions aren't going to want to give us money for this multi-million-dollar Palladium if they think they're going to be tainted by some kind of a scandal. How could you? And supposedly, Firestone, or reportedly, he said, yeah, I may have said something like that, but it was stupid. But I did not follow through. There was no conspiracy, and I happen to believe him. I don't believe that Bruce Firestone could be so incredibly stupid, despite the stupidity of the remark in the first place, to think that he could bring 4 players or enter into an agreement with 4 of his players to throw the final game for some kind of remuneration or preferential treatment.
Well, it's all too complicated for me, Earl. Could it be as simple as the fact the Ottawa Rough Riders planted this story?
Well, the Ottawa Rough Riders, of course, have hired J.I. Albrecht, and they're bringing Dexter to town, so maybe this was all engineered so the Senators could get some publicity, too. This is Ottawa, in fact. Isn't it exciting? It's just great.
And you're there, and that's no coincidence. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
The last word is next, right after this.
TSN Inside Sports, brought to you by Canadian Tire. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire for a lot less.